these are some common things that wear out on your glider. This is for a Sport 2. I forgot to say that you might want to look at to see if you need to replace. A lot of times people order parts from me and they ask what else they might need to look at. It'd be a good idea. And this is not a substitute for a sail-off inspection. I mean, you should do that every 100 hours, or the manual says every year. But this is just stuff you can easily check on your own while the glider is set up, or when you take one or two things out. So first of all, the bags, if the glider bag has any holes in it, you got to get that repaired, or replace the whole bag if you have to. But yeah, any of these other bags also, wingtip bags, if they get a hole in them, any of the pads around the glider, because it's not protecting the frame, it's protecting the sail from, either from the ground or from protecting the sail from the frame for all the other bags and pads. So you don't want to get a hole in your sail. And this hang loop, well, first of all, down tubes, obviously you want to have an extra down tube at all times, pretty much. But this hang loop, this is a new one. If it starts fraying right here from the carabiner, it'd be a good idea to replace it. Or if the whole thing just is really old and yellow, you probably want to replace it. And there's a bunch of these nuts. In this glider, you don't really see them very much, but you see it right on the bottom of the post there, inside there. Those are used in a bunch of spots inside of gliders, so it's nice to have a bunch of those extra ones in case you got to take something apart. You can reuse them, but not too many times. They lose their torque. Also, these small safety rings. You can get a bunch of those just in case you damage or lose some while you're doing maintenance. VG rope you could replace if this is the one I always replace it with now. But if yours is really starting to fray, then it won't go through the pulleys right. Or some people have it cut so short just from pulling it out too many times or something that it ends up zipping up inside the down tube, or they have a knot tied here to stop it from doing that. So, which means it's too short and needs to be replaced, and you're flying at a quarter VG minimum all the time. I've seen that a bunch of times. And you can check the VG bearings, which is this thing. The top one is right here at my fingertip, and you can use something to press it and make sure that thing is still rotating freely. The VG rope goes through it on this side. And also the bearing on the bottom, same thing. The VG rope slides against it, so just make sure that is not all rusted up and it's turning okay. Sometimes even if it looks rusty on the surface, it's rotating all right. Then side wires. If you feel anything here that's poking you, then a strand is loose, and that's really bad. Or if this is looking really yellow, or it's starting to get really frayed, or if there's a kink in it, then you want to replace it. Or if you know you've put a lot of hours on them, then definitely replace them too. The other bottom wires, the nose and rear wires, are not so critical. You can get away. There's not as much tension on them, and if you happen to break one nose or side wire in flight, it'll probably still be flyable enough to get you to the ground, which is not the case. The side wire, you're toast. But you can tell these must be pretty new. I don't know. But it'll fray right here on this fitting a lot, sticking in there, and again, it can kink as well if you do something bad to it when you're folding it up. And then the upper VG rope really doesn't need to be replaced. And then going around some other stuff, really the only thing over here, the bungees that secure the rear of the sprogs. Those can lose elasticity, and you want those to hold them securely against there so they're not banging around. So you get new bungees if you need them. They last many years, but they do wear out all the time on old gliders. And these batten ropes, these shrink over time. I think maybe as a result of getting wet, but I mean, it could happen just even here in the wet dirt. Probably you do this enough times, I don't know. Whatever it does, something shrinks them and they get too tight or they break. Batten tips, of course, you want to have some extras. People lose these and they snap off or they break. Bridle lines, any of the top wires, really you don't need to replace unless they look kinked or bad for some reason, or you have a bad feeling about them, these can get, I think I put new ones on here already. They look perfect, but these can get rolled up inside the sail, the bridle lines, and inside of a wet sail. And so they're just wet for days and days and days, and they can develop some rust, which is not the case on the other wires. But this sweep wire pull rope you grab onto, this will get frayed right in here as where you're pulling against the tang, and you don't want that to break, or it's a big pain in the ass. And again, more pads, make sure everything's in good shape and a hole isn't being worn anywhere that's going to wear through the sail as it rubs against it when it's folded up. While you're back here, check the top of your hang loop for fraying where it attaches into the grommets, like this one. This was a known issue from 2009 to 2011 on some gliders, but I've seen it on later gliders too. Check the nose batten against the chart, because this can get smashed if you turtle your glider over, put weight on it, and or sometimes during transport, or if you don't take this off during when you break it down, and because it's really hard to bend that back into shape, so you got to check it against the chart, and if you're not able to get the right curve here, then you might want to replace it. And then the tip wand is the last thing. You want to check it here where it goes, wherever it goes, comes out of the inner cup on the leading edge, maybe around right here. Make sure there's no crack there. This one looks good, and there's no crack on the outer part where it sticks into here. There's a line right here, but there's no cracking. And on this side, there is a reinforcement here, which goes down to about right here. So normally you should be good on this side, but it's good to check it. You might want this tool that Will's Wing makes. This is where the sidewire attaches. This fits right in here to help you press out this sleeve to get it out. It has knurling on the end, and you might want 1 or 2 extra ones of these because they get damaged. And that's about it. So hope that helps.